Thank you very much, Vince. And you talked about an initial interest by President Trump back in, and I saw a tweet back in June of 2000 that he did that was about specifically about the chronic disease epidemic. And I called my campaign manager, Amaryllis Fox, and I said to her, I could have written that tweet. And it was one of the, I had been campaigning with a lot of the issues that President Trump and I were campaigning on were the same. A lot of the ideas that he had about war, about the forever wars, about the importance of restoring jobs in the country and revitalizing the American middle class. These were all my preoccupations. My biggest preoccupation was the chronic disease epidemic. We are now the sickest country in the world. We announced this week, CDC announced that 76.4% of Americans are suffering a chronic disease. And my uncle was president, it was 11%. In 1950, it was 3%. And we're the sickest country in the world. We have the highest chronic disease burden of any country in the world. And yet we spend more on healthcare than any country in the world. We spend 2 to 3 times what European nations spend. We spend nearly as much in our country for healthcare as all the other nations in the world combined. And yet we have the worst health outcomes. We've lost 6 years in lifespan and longevity to Europe in the past 20 years. Our kids, our girls are hitting puberty 6 years earlier than historically. Our young men have sperm counts that are half of what they ought to be. They have testosterone levels that are half of what they ought to be. We have diabetes that is now endemic, not just epidemic, it's everywhere. 38% of teens are now diabetic or pre-diabetic. When I was a kid, it was 0. And the autism rates, which the president is particularly concerned with, have dropped from less than 1 in 10,000 in 1970 to 1 in every 31 kids today. So this is a national security issue. 8 out of 10 of our children, of our young men, cannot qualify for military service. It's national security, it's our economy, it's wrecking. This is an existential crisis for our country, and I'm so grateful that I work for a president that is willing to run through walls to stop this and to heal our kids. We have the most business-friendly president probably in history. There's never been a president in my lifetime that is more willing to challenge businesses when they overreach. It was more fearless about challenging entrenched interests in our society. And so many times I've had discussions with him about a certain injury or illness, and he'll say how unpopular it will be if we talk about the solutions, which are going to hurt certain businesses. And he said, I don't care. He says again and again, I don't care. This is children. We need to save the children. Oh, I'm very, very grateful to work for him. I'm grateful that a lot of these 128 recommendations are things that I've been dreaming about my whole life. I've been working for in congressional campaigns and presidential campaigns for other candidates. And they get into office and they say, well, we just can't do it. A lot of these things are things that I never thought about. It came from our discussions. We met with 150 farmers and farm organizations. We met with every kind of stakeholder, with doctors, with patients, with just regular Americans, and with school teachers, with people who are deeply, deeply concerned about what's happening to our children. There's never been an effort like this across all the government agencies. We had historical, unprecedented cooperation among my agency, HHS, with Marty McCary and Jay Bhattacharya, all working hand in glove with each other. working with the other agencies, with Brooke Rollins at USDA, with the U.S. Trade Representative, with Lee Zeldin at EPA, and the other cabinet secretaries. And all of us are aligned. All of us are balancing complex issues with many, many diverse stakeholders. We're looking at economic impacts and health impacts and environmental impacts, and we're trying to make a policy that is going to work. And as I said, we have 128 recommendations, and I'm going to tell you about some of our wins that were accomplished, which are specific items in this report, things that we're going to get done before the end of the year. We have accomplished more already than any health secretary in history. And the accomplishments we're going to have by the end of the year are going to be historic and unprecedented, including removing harmful chemicals from our food, including the 9 petroleum-based food dyes. We'll either have removed them or have committed deadlines to remove them. Defining for the first time ultra-processed food, the front of package labeling for ultra-processed foods, requiring nutrition and metabolic health courses in medical schools, something that is not happening except in a very limited way today. Closing the grass loophole, improving food for our military, our schools, and our hospitals, updating water quality standards, including PFAS, removing Medicaid quality metrics to measure real health improvements through fitness and nutrition, working across the government to provide more assistance to farmers to support soil health, unleash innovation, and remove the barriers that hamper small farms, removing SNAP, reforming SNAP by working with states to remove soda and candy from the program. And I want to thank Brooke for her very, very aggressive work and encouraging states to, which we've gone all across the country talking to governors and legislatures, to encourage states to file SNAP waiver petitions, establishing, again, front-of-pack food labeling for sugars, for sodium, for ultra-processed foods, reforming infant formula standards, and acknowledging and addressing vaccine injuries. These are bipartisan reforms. Many of them would be unthinkable 2 years ago. We are focusing narrowly on nutrition and metabolic health, food quality, cumulative exposures, gut microbiome, precision agriculture, and mental health. And we're doing all these things with each other cooperatively, and we're doing them very, very quickly. After this event, I'll be going to the Oval Office to make another historic announcement with the president that is part of these recommendations that I think, again, is going to challenge a lot of industries. Very, very powerful industries. But the president is fearless. So I want to thank Vince for your leadership on this committee, and I want to thank all of my colleagues in the cabinet, Heidi Overton and Callie Means, who played critical roles in putting this list together.